Hey hookers, happy Christmas! So I thought for this video I'd do something that's like a little bit different. Now many of you know that my love life is, horrible. I'm a freak magnet. I attract all the winners, all the fucking psychos and crazies and nut jobs. They all find me. I don't know, I don't look for them. I must have some kind of radar. Some people were born with a horseshoe up their ass. I was born with a hex up my, urethra. I don't know. If you're single and dating in New York City and nobody's calling the fire department, you're just not that committed. So this is I don't know if it was my worst date, but it's definitely like top 5, well, top 10. I don't know. It's always the murdery ones that leave an impact on you. So this happened a couple years ago. I was living in Brooklyn at the time and was going through the worst breakup in the history of breakups and was kind of rebounding. So this guy, we had met maybe like 6 months prior that we were working on a film set together. And the whole day he was flirting with me. And so I'm giggling and laughing and smiling. And then after hours of this, he drops the G-bomb. So my girlfriend... Of course, your girlfriend, of course, typical, your girlfriend, of course. Really? So I was just like, whatever. So anyway, a couple months went by, I was seeing somebody, and he would kind of keep in touch with me occasionally, where he would send me those veiled, slutty selfies. You know that thing people do where they'll find an excuse to send you a picture of themselves half naked? Like they'll be sitting there making soup, but they just happen to have no shirt on. Or they'll send you a picture that's like, oh look, I'm brushing my teeth. But I'm also naked. I mean, not that I haven't done that, but... So anyway, flash forward. I'm rebounding, I'm going through the worst breakup ever, and my days were literally just reduced to walking around Brooklyn listening to, Whitney Houston songs on repeat and sobbing. All day. So he invited me to go out for drinks, and I figured it would be a good opportunity to just get out of the house and get out of my head for an evening. This was in the middle of the worst snowstorm of the winter. I lived in Brooklyn at the time. He lived, in the middle of nowhere, somewhere in Queens, where I'd never been to. So I told him I would meet him, but then I started doing that thing where I was, talking myself out of it, and I was like, okay, I'll meet you at 8. No, I'll meet you at 9. No, I'll meet you at 10. No, I'll meet you at 11. So anyway, I got a late start. Snow is coming down. I didn't really feel like going anywhere, but I pushed myself to go. So I went to the middle of nowhere, Queens, 3 trains away, and met him in this, Irish pub. So I walk in. He's already drunk. He's 3 sheets to the wind by now. So I go in, I walk up to him. The first thing he says to me, he goes, "Do you know how good I am in bed with girls? Can you imagine how good I would be with a guy?" No. Tell me. Well, nice to see you too. Merry Christmas. So anyway, we're hanging out for a little bit, we have a couple drinks, it's fine, small talk, whatever. So then suddenly, this homeless-ish person walks in. You know those people who it's they're not homeless, but they're not exactly not homeless? Homeless-ish. We'll call him Hobo Pete. So that's the thing, I'm from New York, so I know not to engage in conversation, because when somebody like that comes up to you, their opening line is never what they want, and if you engage with them, you are never getting rid of them. But I guess he didn't know this fact. So he starts making conversation with him, and next thing I know, the 3 of us are just all hanging out. Me, him, and Hobo Pete. So I'm starting to get really disenchanted. I'm like, why did I even go out tonight? I just wish I was home. I could be watching reruns of The Practice. So anyway, Hobo Pete says to the guy that I'm with, "Oh, you guys are cute together. How long have you been a couple?" To which the guy that I'm with says, no, we're not. I'm straight." To which Hobo Pete says, "No, you ain't." Yes. So anyway, things go from 0 to 100, and the guy that I'm with gets super perturbed. So he says, Why would you say that to me? I thought we're here. I thought we're having a nice time. We're having a lovely evening. Why would you say that to me? Why would you say that to me? Why would you say that to me? Starts freaking out, screaming at the top of his lungs, tears coming down his face, starts screaming and crying in the middle of this Irish pub where every old Irish man is just staring at us. And I'm just like, what the fuck is going on? So like, freaks out. So anyway, I should have mentioned his roommate is the bartender here. So the bartender, who's his roommate, comes up to him and just like puts her hands on top of his, and she's like, it's okay, remember where you are, you're safe, it's okay, it's okay, it's okay. Like, it's clear she's been through this 1,000 fucking times with him. And I'm just like, what the fuck is going on? I'm like... So anyway, he grabs his coat and storms out the front door, and you can see through the glass doors, he like sits down on the curb and throws his head into his hands super dramatically, and I'm just like, what the hell is happening? So she turns to me, and then she says the fateful words, oh, you're gonna make sure he gets home, right? Not exactly what I wanted to do, but you know, even I'm not that much of an asshole that I'm gonna be like, okay, yeah, just walk home alone crying. So I was like, yes, I will walk him home. So she says to me, she goes, okay, well, he's off his meds and he doesn't know where we live. Of course, he's off his meds, because why wouldn't he be? It's a person I'm out with, of course, he's off his meds. And I could just picture the next day calling my dad, asking me how my date went, and I'm like, oh, it was wonderful, it was so romantic, he was off his meds. So she says to me, she's like, okay, well, he's off his meds and he doesn't know where we live, so give me your phone, I gotta put the address in. So I hand her my phone, she hands it back to me. 45-minute walk away, through a park, under a bridge, nowhere near a train. Ugh. So I just look at her and I was like, thanks. So I just grab my stuff and walk out. He's still sitting there on the curb with his head as it has, crying like somebody just shot his whole family. So I walk up to him and I'm like, hey, buddy, how you doing? So he decides that this would be a good opportunity for him to start hitting on me. And start saying shit to me like, oh, you're so beautiful, you're whatever. He's like, oh, can I kiss you? And I was just like, nah, you don't want to do something you might regret. Let's get you home. So we begin the journey. The snow is pouring down. By now it's like 2, 3 in the morning. So we begin the journey of this like 45-minute, 2-mile walk for me to walk him home. During which he starts saying the craziest shit. So at one point he turns to me and he says, would you ever let somebody pee on you? I swear, in that moment, I flashed back to my ex who had just broken up with me and our romantic moments together, like laying down in the middle of the street together, dancing in his kitchen late at night. And now here I was in the middle of Queens at 3 in the morning with a bipolar 22-year-old asking if he can pee on me. What a fucking difference a month can make. So anyway, he looked like sad from that, and I like felt guilty or something. So like, you know, like maybe I just like ruined whatever sort of night he had planned. So I was just trying to make light of it, and I was like, oh well, you know, I guess it's better than someone shitting on you. And without missing a beat, he turns to me and says, oh, I would do that. Let's get you home. So we continue the walk. At one point we stopped in a CVS, and when we leave, he tells me that he had shoplifted a hairbrush. I could only imagine that this night would end with me in a jail cell next to him, you know, asking, like, Bertha from Cell Block B if I can bum a smoke. So we continue the journey through the park, under the bridge, and finally arrive at his place. So I walk him to the door, and I look down at my phone and see the most horrific sight. 2% battery life. So, I'm like under a bridge in the middle of Queens. I have no idea where I am or how to get back to Brooklyn. So, I come up with a plan and I'm like, okay, I'm gonna go in for 15 minutes, charge my phone, warm up, and then I'm getting the fuck out of here. Good plan, right? Go team. So, we go inside, I go off to the bathroom, he goes to his room. As soon as I come out, the other roommate is standing there and he's like, who are you? And I'm just like, oh, huh, I'm Mike. Hi. So I like scurry through the dark to try and find his room. I finally find it. I open the door. There he is. Nearly naked. Literally just wearing boxers, and they were the kind of like baggy plaid boxers that like 10-year-olds wear. And not to like be derogatory, but once you see somebody nearly naked and it's not really appealing, there's no unseeing that. My grandma always told me, you know, some people might look good with clothes on, but the clothes need to come off. So I just take a seat. I hand him my phone. I'm like, can you plug my phone in, look up directions to Brooklyn? So he totally ignores me and just starts running his mouth about, like, comic books and, like, the friggin' Marvel universe. Did you know it's like a universe? I don't know. I've never seen them. Whatever. So anyway, I'm, like, not really paying attention. He's talking and talking. And do you guys ever have this happen where, like, you won't be listening to somebody, but then you'll tune back in mid-sentence and catch the tail end of it out of context? So I suddenly hear him say, that's okay, though. I have a machete. So I was like, knowing that I'd probably regret asking him this question, wait a minute, you have a machete? So he walks to the corner of his room, this like giant cardboard box, goes into it and is like, oh yeah, I have rope and ball gags and handcuffs, and just starts pulling out like an entire friggin' like torture chamber. So he pulls out of the box this like rope. And this was not like little rope you tie knots with. This was like friggin' like boating rope. So all of a sudden, he is standing directly in front of me, holding out this rope like this. Stone-faced. And it occurred to me in that moment, like, I knew he looked familiar, I knew he reminded me of somebody, and I realized exactly who he looks like. The Columbine killer. Not the one that looked like the Crow, the one that was like kind of cute with the dimples and stuff, like the cute murdery one, you know? Is that bad? Like, super murdery. So it occurred to me in that moment, I'm like, wait, I'm in the middle of Queens, it's like 4 in the morning, he's off his meds, I'm under a bridge, nobody knows I'm here, oh my god, I'm going to die here. And maybe this just goes to show how sick I am, but for some reason, once I thought that, I started hysterically laughing. And the more and more I thought that, like, I am going to die here, I just started cracking up laughing and couldn't stop. Meanwhile, he is standing there in front of me, stone-faced, holding this friggin' rope. So suddenly he says, "Are you laughing at me? Why are you laughing? Why are you laughing at me? Why are you laughing at me?" So all of a sudden, he takes the rope and like lunges at me and puts it behind my neck. And this was not like, there was nothing like sexy about this. This was just like fucking weird. So anyway, at this moment, he decides it's a good time to stick his tongue down my throat. And you know what? I had had a night of it. I was just like, whatever, I don't care. Let it happen. But you know that thing sometimes you do where like your mind is racing and you have a million questions, but your mouth is just on autopilot? That's what I was doing. I was like, alright. So I'm like, alright, I think I'm stuck here for the night. So, new plan. I'm gonna take a nap, wake up at the crack of dawn, and then get the fuck out of here. Good plan, right? Go team. So anyway, blah blah blah. I take a nap. I go to sleep. I wake up the crack of dawn, like 8 a.m. So I wake up and I'm not really sure where I am. I'm like, did that really happen? And I totally had a woe-over. Do you guys know what that is? It's like a hangover, but when you weren't really drunk the night before, but everything just feels like, whoa, a woe-over. So I'm kind of groggy, like, where the fuck am I? So anyway, I turn around. He is sitting at his computer desk, staring at me like this. Bah! Scared the shit out of me. So anyway, he immediately starts running his mouth again about comic books and Star Trek and Spider-Man and everything, and I'm just like, oh, make it stop, I need an Advil, go away. So anyway, once again, I'm not really paying attention. I'm not listening to what he's saying. And then I catch the tail end of the sentence. And I hear him say, something something, my machete. So, once again, I should have known that I would regret asking this question. So I'm still laying on my back in his bed, and I'm like, wait a second, you were serious about that? You have a machete? And he's like, oh yeah, and pulls out from right behind where I was sleeping, basically under my pillow, like a fucking machete. wasn't like a little, like, kitchen knife. It was like a freaking machete. Like, what? So anyway, I'm laying on my back in his bed. He is kneeling on it directly in front of me. Once again, probably shouldn't have asked the question. But so I'm laying there, and I say to him, I'm like, why do you have a machete? He's kneeling in front of me. And he says, in case someone tries to kill me, or in case I need to kill someone else. All of a sudden, he takes the machete and stabs it into the mattress, like this far away from me. I jump up, I'm like, oh my god, I have like 17 heart attacks, and I am just waiting. I am waiting because I know that any second I'm going to see a pool of blood and feel pain because I'm certain that I've just been stabbed. It went through the sheets, through the mattress, through everything. So I jump up and I'm like, why did you do that? To which he says, I don't know. Well, this was great. Look at the time. I've walked my dog, but let's do it again sometime. Yeah. So I'm like trying to grab my coats and my layers, trying to get the fuck out. To which he says, what I should have known would be the note that this shit show of an evening would end on. He turns to me and says, oh no, don't go. My girlfriend will be here soon. Bye, gotta go. His girlfriend. I forgot about the girlfriend. So I just like get all my coats, open the door, slam it behind me, and get the fuck out. Back to Brooklyn, back to Whitney Houston songs, back to heartbreak, but away from machete-wielding, off their meds, bipolar 22-year-olds who want to pee on you. Oh, romance. It's just one of these things that could only happen to me. Anyway, this probably wasn't even one of my worst dates. Like, wait till I tell you guys about the one where I had to hide in a bomb shelter. That was even worse. Anyway, alright, I'm gonna shut up now. I hope everybody's having a really great Christmas. Thank you so much for watching this. It really means so much to me. I have such big plans for this channel in the new year, so I hope you guys will stay tuned. And anyway, I'm gonna shut up now. Thank you guys so much for watching. My name is Mikey, and my girlfriend thinks that I'm just a neat dude.